2-0 victory in the end, Christopher. You have to say, thoroughly deserved for Hearts of Oak, but they had to work hard for that.
It wasn't that comfortable,
to
be honest with you, especially when we all knew that the game is a one-off. And at some point in time, you could clearly feel the tension, even within the technical team, within the entire Hearts of Oak playing body. And it was a very, very big relief when Kofi Koji curled that free kick into the back of the net. You could clearly see that it was, again, all about the first goal. The moment that first goal went in and the Guineans decided to open up to play football, Hearts of Oak were only going to go again and score. I think once again, Samaboidu has proven that he knows his job, he knows his coaching. Because the timing of the substitution and the impact that those two substitutes had on the game can only be credited to the manager. But I'm a very worried one, because once again, it comes down to the way we are managing our football here. I'm talking about the next game. At the time Hearts of Oak played their next opponent, I'm not sure whether we would have started our league by then, because there were moments in this game where if Hearts of Oak were playing the league, the intensity of the game would have gotten better. It got to a time where you could clearly see that the players were struggling for breath. They were very fatigued. And the next opponent, the league is ongoing. The next Hearts of Oak next opponent, I heard the game will be played, I think, on the 20th or 22nd of October. Somewhere.
The first leg is on the 17th, and then the return leg is on the 22nd.
Hearts of Oak play home first?
Yes, of course.
Goodness me, surely. Look, it is going to be even more difficult because of the quality of the opposition. But as a country or as a footballing people, the people of the FA, they wouldn't have given Hearts of Oak any chance whatsoever to progress to the next stage. Because I believe that if you're going to play against a formidable opposition, the least you can do to help your cause is fitness-wise. Stamina have to be top-notch, because it is when the team is that fit, that is where they can match up to whatever tempo that the opponent will. And it's a North African country.
And they have already started their leagues.
That's what I'm saying.
Egypt, Morocco, Algeria. We are starting our league on October 29th.
Before our league starts, we'll be asking the champions of Ghana to go and virtually do the impossible.
And they will not have played a competitive game since what? When did the league end?
June.
August,
June, July. So August, September, October. Which means more or less close to
3 months.
But for this one, the last competitive game was 3 months ago. That is 90 days ago. Clearly unacceptable. You can't do that. So the people at the FA, I would have thought that some form of top 4 competition would have been organized involving the top 4 teams in the league, so that primarily is to help the cause of the champions of Ghana to go and make us. Because look, friend, we had 4 slots. So
we did. We had 4 slots.
We had 4 slots. That is 2 in the Champions League, 2 in the Comfort Cup. We've lost both. And what is even more serious this time around, we couldn't put up a rep in the Confederation Cup.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe it? This is the first time in the history of this country, I stand to be corrected, where we've had a completed league season, yet still there's a winner of the FA Cup. Of course, Hearts of Oak won the double. So as having won the double, they could have only chosen the competition they want to participate in.
As were those who were supposed to play in the competition. Here's the case. They didn't even apply for the CAF licensing for the CAF competition when the season started. So they had zero belief
that they would get that far. But Kotoko did.
Yes.
I think Mediama did.
Yes.
So couldn't this FA, couldn't the Ghana Football Association sit with Kotoko or Mediama and get one of them to go and represent Ghana? Give them whatever support they need. Because as it stands, should Hearts of Oak get booted out?
We've got to a point where we may even lose all the slots, and now we have to go and start from the very beginning. Prelims.
Can you imagine this?
Koranteng, your thoughts on that game? I mean, Hearts of Oak showed one side of the team that we've known about them, the fighting spirit. Like Nimley said, at the very beginning, it wasn't that great, and tension was starting to get in. But in the end, the goal came 83rd minute, and they went on to wrap it up. Certainly, there were things that the coach and everybody else has to be happy about.
Look, if you're a Hearts of Oak fan, you should be absolutely delighted with what we saw today. It's not just because of the lack of fitness in the team, but a lot of people are forgetting that in as much as Hearts of Oak are a big team on the continent of Africa, this group of players and this technical team is very inexperienced when it comes to playing on the continent.
That's right.
I don't think there's a single one of them who has been there before, apart from the captain. I don't think, apart from Fatah, any of the players have been to or played on the African scene before. So this was a first time. Number two, first time at home, but not playing in front of your fans. You lack the fans at the stadium. So it was sort of a level playing ground. And then coach's point comes in about the lack of fitness. Now, when the game is growing, and this is a Hearts team that completed a league season where they dominated teams, attacked, scored goals, and were very interesting to watch. They almost had it covered. Each game, look, I think on the average, Hearts were leading by the 70th minute, so they are used to dominating games and used to that winning feeling. But as the game continued, as at the 80th minute, Hearts had not taken the lead, and they understood the metrics of this game, knowing that had they ended in a draw, we were going to extra time and then penalties, and that would have been trouble. Straight to penalties, which has proven to be a problem for Ghanaian teams. So, of course, if you look at these pointers, an inexperienced team, you expect them to crumble. But they kept believing, they kept fighting. And, of course, you have to give credit to the playing body and then the head coach also for letting them keep calm, understanding the assignment. And this, most of the time, these sort of performances comes with experience. But for somebody who has not even been there before, that becomes even a more commendable thing for he and the playing body to do. So look, you have to credit them. Of course, the next step is a huge one. It's going to be extremely difficult. Things have not been made easy for the club
at all.
But if you look at what Samuel Boadu and his playing body and the technical team have been able to do, I'm saying that even if Hearts will go out, they will not go out without a fight. And that is what some of us want to see. Some of us with a soft spot for the club, we want to see. They will not go out and be disgraced. They will go out and they will fight till the end. Exactly. As the slogan says, it is not over until the bones are rotten. And this team has shown so much fighting spirit. And they have to be commended. You look at Salim.
They had no business. Hearts of Oak had no business winning the league
at all. Even this game, you look at how good Kamsar. Then look, that's why a lot of people are refusing to see. This is a team that won the Guinean league based on their defensive solidity. They hardly conceded goals. So the fact that they took Hearts of Oak to 80 minutes and Hearts were not able to break them down is testament to how strong they are. And
it took a set piece too.
It actually took a set piece. So look, defensively they are so strong, and you look at some of the performance in the Hearts team. Salim was playing his first competitive game for Accra Hearts of Oak, and it was a CAF Champions League qualifier. Somebody like that should be overawed by the occasion. But you look at the sort of performance he put out. The only thing you can do is to commend this team. They've done brilliantly well, even to make it to the next stage. And we can only hope that things align well for them to make it into the group stage.
You talk about the defensive solidity of the Kamsar team. 26 games, 16 clean sheets in the league.
Look, that is massive.
That is ridiculous.
That's massive.
That's ridiculous. It's crazy. So certainly they were always going to be a difficult team to break down. However, you can't help but wonder what the results would have been if this was a two-legged affair, and what if Hearts of Oak were trailing from the first leg in this game at the Accra Sports Stadium. Could have brought something different from the team. You never know. But now, certainly, they get to face their biggest task yet. Wydad Casablanca are definitely one of the best teams on the continent at the moment. To be facing them this early in the qualifiers is a massive test of strength, massive test of character, and a massive test of quality of this Hearts of Oak team.
I hope the fans are allowed into that game.
I hope so too. Really unfortunately, the decisions are being made by CAF.
For me.
In fact, CAF, a day before the game, they even brought a directive that journalists needed to get COVID tests to access the game, and they don't even communicate early. It's the problem.
For me, fans or without fans, if our league was in progress,
you fancy Hearts of Oak against Wydad.
They won't lie low.
Of course, that's what Daniel said. They won't go down without a fight.
But look, with that competitive football, I'm a coach, so I'm imagining what Samobuedu is going
stress.
through. I'm imagining myself in charge, doing all the practice at the training ground, rehearsing, not having a perfect competitive platform to get the boys to implement the sort of things I want to see them do.
Right. Interesting. Anyway, so all the rest of Hearts of Oak, certainly you need to enjoy today's victory. Like Daniel said, you have to be very delighted with it. That's one progress. At least they get some money as well from CAF, so that's a positive thing.